it. Now, let's have a look first and see if we are actually streaming. Doesn't look like it's happening. So let's see. Let me just refresh this page. Twitch is working. And Facebook is not. Okay. Probably I did something wrong. I don't even know why Snap Camera is showing on Facebook. Let's refresh one more time. Oh. Yeah, all this is kind of new for me, huh? Let's see if we can. Okay. Looks like we're live. Awesome. Cool. Well, welcome back. This is the second time I go live. Let's just continue where we took off yesterday. We did see quite some events play out, just as to be expected. Let's just go over step by step first what we were expecting yesterday, and let's see how it played out, and then let's try to think of a plan as how to play this now going forward. So what were we expecting? We did expect that if we were going to break up, there was going to be a stop at around the 11,600 area. I also said if we break higher, next level is going to be around the 11,700 area. And prophecy fulfilled, it completely played out all the way to the cent. Now, what we were also talking about is how we started to form this channel, how this channel here became a real possibility, and of course it really touched here in the intersection. So is this crystal ball stuff? It's absolutely not. This is just the way TA works. It's not always going to predict what is going to happen, but you can have like a set of advantages on your side, and this is why we do our technical analysis. You know, it might as well just have touched this area, pulled back. Also, yeah, could not have gone all the way up, and then what happens? The plan changes and your approach needs to change accordingly. And you know, this is what I said yesterday. There is no right, there is no wrong, and there's nobody who will always be able to predict exactly what is going to happen. But doing your technical analysis gives you an edge because guess what? Everybody is looking at the same charts. Every trader, every retail trader, business trader, whatever, every algorithm, every computer that trades all these levels is also reacting to this. And on top of that, these levels do matter. I kind of lost my train of thought there. I was getting too excited. Maybe I just went ahead of myself. Now, you know what's a little bit alarming to me is that yesterday I came up with these channels, and a lot later the day, actually my night area, I saw some other YouTubers pop up with the exact same thing, saying that, oh well, you know, we saw this one from a long time ahead, but now considering other YouTubers are posting it, we wanted to share it too, and we don't want to keep it a secret anymore. Now, you know, this blows my mind, basically. You know, I have all respect for other YouTubers, but you know, if they knew this was gonna play out like this, because everybody was looking at the wedge shapes, everybody in the world was looking at those wedge shapes, and you know, as long as something doesn't break out, you can't go around assuming things. You can draw millions of lines on your chart and make it completely unreadable, but you have to go step by step. That's the way I feel it, you know. Am I wrong? Could be, you know. I'm not the best trader in the world. There's probably people who made a lot of money on every one of those little moves. There's probably people who just went long from here and just played it out completely because, you know, they knew. But basically, from what I've learned is that nothing is a sure given, and you know, you can be lucky. It's possible. You can actually be lucky. It's just like winning the lottery. Some people actually win the lottery, but does that make you a professional? I don't know. It's to be debated. Now, on my behalf, go live. This is not what I wanted to do. Okay, on my behalf, let's see what we're seeing in the charts right now. Okay, so we did bounce up. I said that I am expecting a correction. We did move a little bit down, but in our fairness, this was not really the correction I was expecting. Okay, I could have been wrong there, but we go level by level, remember? So the first level that we touched was just this resistance line that has now been tested 1, 2, 3 times as a support line. Okay, we also hit that little node sticking out here. That's also for sure. Now, where do we go from there? There are a few possibilities. Okay, either we use this as a support line and we will just keep going up. Stochastics are way down below, but they are curling up pretty strongly. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so we can see this a little better. They are curling up. So basically this indicates that, yeah, momentum is moving to the upside, but this is not an indicator for the future. This is an indicator that confirms what we're seeing, because sometimes you might see like a move to the upside that just gets negated and goes back down, and it just like snakes around. So it's helpful to see like, okay, Here we did have a low setting in, but is it going to keep going? This is where your levels are going to come into play. Okay, so when we zoom in, what do we see? We see this node here. We see a little node here and another node here. So probably, well, it's debatable. We could already have tested the node and just keep ranging in between this area. Perfectly possible. We might come down, retest this lower support line and start breaking it. Now on the downside, on the downtrend, let's say, if we break down, then I expect us to retest this area. And then again, it's the same game. Is it gonna break? Is it gonna hold? Blam, blam. We go to the next level, level by level. On the upside, on the other hand, and this is where I need to zoom out a little bit and give us more of a bird's eye view. On the upside, if we manage to break above this area of misery and lots of volume, then you can see that we actually have clear skies straight above us. Is this gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know. So where do we go from here? Let me make this a little bit cleaner. So don't worry about this line. This is just a middle range that has been tested in both sides, and you know, it doesn't mean anything basically. It's just going to be like a little bit of a resistance line that is easily to break, but the channel is here in between the green lines. Yeah. Let's see. I've been brought to my attention yesterday by some friends in my Discord channel, because we do have a Discord channel. If you want to join the channel, it's fairly easy. Just go to the website. The page is in the right bottom corner. And there's a whole description about how you can join our Discord. It's free to join. We only want you to join us first using our affiliate link, using ByBit. I really love ByBit. I can't say enough good things about ByBit. Give it a try. You know, join ByBit. There's some great bonuses. We also can give you some really nice perks. And then you just send me an email. The email is on the web page. Give me the username or the email address you used to sign up, so I can verify you, and bam, you're in. Okay, the live Discord is a pretty useful tool. It's really fun. We're starting to, you know, grow it more like a family, trying to help each other rather than just a perk where you will get more targets and stuff, because you know, I don't do targets, I don't shout predictions and stuff. I think all this is a little bit overrated, if that's the right word I can use for it. So, expectations. Let's go over the long term and let's see what we can do from there. Where is my line? All right. Why do you do this? Why like this? Why like this? Don't be annoying. Yeah. So, on the long term, on the daily chart, what can we see? We can actually confirm that we bounced on this node. This is a resistance area. So this one is actually very key to time or to measure a breakout. Stochastics are sitting like really in the bullish area. They're very bullish, but if we extend this one, then we can see that this has been now the third time that we tested as a resistance. Does this mean we break down all the way? Well, look at this here, this whole snaking area from here to here. We stayed in an uptrend. Okay, so it's not because it's angling down that we can assume that it's just gonna break down and crash. Okay, so no misconceptions here, please. What do we also see? Let me delete this one because this is in the past and I just wanted to leave it for reference. What else do we see? We see a test here, and a test here for support. And those are those three tests on the green trend line. This is actually a very long trend line already. Maybe I'm going to make it a little bit shorter because the slope changed, and we also see a little change in this slope here. Remember, the plan changes, we need to adapt. Now, what else? The RSI on this area here. Let me see if maybe I can mark things because this is starting to get messy, huh? This area here. Let's make it a little more clear. Okay, this area here. And let's measure 69.5 and 70. So this not yet, but these 2 points are already potentially setting up for a bearish divergence. Now, if price goes a little bit higher, next area would be here, and or probably this one here. I think this one is more going to play out as a divergence if price rises again over this area, over this level, which is sitting at 11,820, and the way to break it would be if RSI pops higher than 87.81. Let's call it 88, just to round it up. So this is going to be like a very, very particular area to keep an eye on, because this will work backwards in comparison to these two areas. Here, RSI popped, making a higher high, and the way to negate it is to make a higher high on the price here, which actually is feasible. It is within range right now. You know, if we go a little bit higher, we break above this node, it's fair to say that we are going to see more high. Okay, now this one here is going to be a little bit tricky to judge. What we need to do is get the RSI level higher than this one to negate it. So back to our pigs indicator, and let's see what the indicator says for an RSI of 88. And let's adjust. Oh, let's go like this. Let's go ahead and adjust this. So wow, okay, to bring the RSI on a daily chart higher than this 88 or 87.81, we would need to see price reach $13,908. So from here it seems out of reach, but considering that those two are easy to negate, I think if we break higher, we will find support and we will see more high in the future. Now, another one on the daily chart that I find really important to keep an eye on, and not a lot of people do this, this is the volume profile on the long term. Now, I made a trend line touching this high, and this high. And the thing is, usually when we fill up this triangle for 2/3, 3/4, sometimes it goes even a little bit further, but 2/3, 3/4 is kind of the rule of thumb. We actually see a big move play out, like a really multi-$100 or a little bit more even, like the big moves. Now, like, see here, this was an amazing dump. You can see it here. This one here, bearish all the way. Okay, so those are actually, this is a move from, let's say, let's measure it from here to, let's take the measuring tool from here to, let's take the high, $1,900 up, 20%. So this is a big move. Let's do the other one just for funs and giggles. Measuring tool. And again, almost $2,000, negative 16.22%. So yeah, big moves. And this is what's laying in the future in our charts. Could it be to the upside? Could it be to the downside? We can't tell. We need to go level by level, but expect in the future, in the near future, a big move. Now, let's go a little bit more down on our time frames. Wait, why do these not show? So I don't know if you noticed, but your lines, your trend lines, you can have them show on specific time frames, or you can also just have them show all the way across. Sometimes it helps to make your charts look a little bit nicer, because it's not because you have some trend lines that work for one time frame that trend lines, those trend lines will work for the other time frames. But trend lines on price, I like to take them across the whole line, the whole spectrum, because that doesn't change too much. What I don't like is to have, like here, trend lines from different time frames on my oscillators pop up, because that just becomes a mess. Let's set this one back to the 6 hour, because I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Yeah, good. See how that works? Nice. Now, most likely, what people expect is if we are within a range, that we are just going to follow the channel. If we make a positive channel, we're either going to follow it, respect it, or we might easily break out going sideways. If and when we do break out going sideways, we start to lose momentum, and then it's a lot easier to see price break down. If, on the other hand, we actually really pump out of this channel, then that's a very, very strong indicator that the bulls are pushing the price up. It can use the channel again as a support and then really pop up. So I do like these channels. They are fairly nice to trade in, because if you are within the range of the extension of the channel, then your setup for risk management is very easy. It's very straightforward. You go short at the top and you set your stop loss. Just you look for a horizontal line that would actually be sitting outside of the channel, and you use this as your stop loss, or maybe even a little bit above, to avoid really taking it too close to the T. But this is how you could trade a channel formation. Same goes for the downside. You know, you get in here at this area, you look for a previous support line. Okay, this one is a little bit further ahead, but it's pretty okay. You know, still your loss is going to be a lot smaller than your reward can be. So this is how you set up your stop losses, which is really important to think about before you enter a trade. Don't go jumping in and then afterwards do your TA and realize that, for instance, you were sitting smack in the middle, and where do you put your stop loss? Okay, so this is very important to think about before you take action. Try to remember this one. Now, back to our chart. Zooming in, the possibilities are pretty wide. Okay, number one, we could just retest this channel, this middle line here. It has been served as a support. Not here. Here it just completely neglected it. But here, you know, it's a valid line. It's a valid thing to think that this line could actually have a little bit of value to it. So, you know, we could use it as a support, just range, touch it, and then start going all the way up to this node again. On the other hand, if we literally shatter through it, then it's the other way around. Basically, for what I would be doing, I would just, if we break down, wait for a retest of these areas here, set up for a long, and then just see what happens. Because there are quite a few big nodes of volume here, and these are actually really recent. Those are very formed in the less long ago than those ones here. The further they go in time, the easier they will be to break, because of course there are still going to be trapped people who held on to their long position, and eventually they will see a chance to get out. But most traders from this area, especially after this dump, after rejection here, I'm pretty sure most traders already got out. So less chance that this node is going to be super strong, more chance that all these nodes are going to be strong. Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind as you set up for your own trade. Now, going down to the lower time frames, there's nothing very in particular to see. There is this channel here, I don't think the bottom side of the channel is still going to be valid, because, you know, we might just get back in and range inside again. But I will wait for a retest and a confirmation of this before I would start shouting targets. What is for sure is that we do have a tested and documented level here. Also coincides with a little bit of increase in volume. Next level is this one here. This one has a bigger node, bigger volume, so probably traders who sold their position here, or maybe thought about going short. I don't know, they held on, and sometimes, you know, if your leverage level is not too high, you can go through the pain. You know, it's perfectly possible. So eventually, people from this area here are going to start looking at it. Also, since it is documented, there is going to be a lot of people using this level to buy in again. So keep that one in mind. Now, lower, we do see this node here, but since it's actually sitting in the middle of a range of noise, I'm not really sure what to think about it. On the downside, there's the 10,230 area. This would actually really be a point of no return. Once we drop below this, you can see that volume is getting really thin here, and then it's straight for the dumps. There's been shout outs for like at least a month. People expecting 9,600, 9,200 and all these things within that area. And you know, if price goes down, everybody is always shouting the downsides, like, oh, we're going to this level, we're going to this level, Bitcoin is gonna break down, it's gonna break down. Well, the indicator for me here, and you know, I know a lot of people critique me on this. They say don't go off of indicators, don't believe in all those formations and stuff, and I agree. Formations, indicators are no sure thing. There's no one way that the same formation is going to play out. There's always both sides of the equation, and this is what a good trader needs to learn to do. This is what I'm also hammering onto myself day after day. I think it's very important. Formations have possible ways to break out or to play out. A good trader thinks about the different ways this can happen and tries to set up its position, its bias, and all these things according to what can happen. And then you start looking for other information that could help you tip the side to one or the other. All right. Now, all that being said, what happened here, for me, this was a very, very bullish divergence between, let's mark this off, between this area and this one here. Now, oh, again, I keep doing this. Now, what happened? RSI made a lower low, price made a higher low. Divergence, very clear as day. But, and that's the big but, I did not call a reversal after such a dump until we retested and reconfirmed what I saw. And the guys in my group were also telling that I shouldn't be going off of these indicators and all these things, but I still think those things have a little bit of weight over just regular oscillators. It's not what you use, it's how you use it. And I found a way that works for me and that I feel I can backtest. So what happened? Here we have our low. We have our low. And then price goes down and we start forming lower lows. So this was not the bottom. If you jumped here on a long, you were too early, especially after such a dump. Such a dump is always, in my book, always going to retest the low areas just to confirm whether it's actually already the low or not. So what happened? Here, because it's going to be hard to see, and here we have our retest. Okay, this was going to tell me that on the long run, we did see the bottom come in. Now there was another retest, there was a third one because it was such a dump. And what do we see? 3 lower lows in a row, 3 higher lows in a row. Okay, so this is how I kind of measured this area out. Of course, now you're saying, oh, this is just hindsight magic, blah, 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 blah. I'm very sorry that I didn't start streaming back then. I was working on the group and trying to start building our community. We were also putting a lot of time into setting up the website, into making deals with ByBit, because we do have great deals. I'm gonna keep shouting it out, you know. Join us on ByBit and, you know, find out for yourself whether it's, you know, real what I'm saying or not. I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to give us a shot. Okay, now levels are pretty clear. You can think about playing them how you want, set up accordingly. Just make sure that you keep those a little bit in mind and go over all the rest that you can do in order to set up your stop losses, have your contingencies. It's okay to lose a little bit of money. It does happen. Now, I'm gonna have to cut this stream a little bit short, but I will make another stream later today. You know, my personal life is also existent. I hope you understand this. And I find this interesting because we're just in the middle of a move, and I would like to make a follow-up later to see how it played out, what happened, and how we're going to look for the next big move to happen. Okay, so stay tuned. In about 1.5 to 2 hours, so on European time, which is GMT -2, or is it +2? +2, GMT +2, at 3 o'clock my time, I will be back online and we will go over how this whole little situation played out. Let's see if the stochastics are going to retest this area, and then we will have a little bit more of a clear picture on what levels, what areas to try to expect. Also, not shouting targets, remember this. Let's just go over it and then you can make your TA for yourself accordingly. Okay, now thank you very much for watching. Have a look at our website. Also have a look at our Facebook page. It's linked on the website. I'm also trying to grow my YouTube channel. For now, YouTube is being YouTube. I don't know why. It's been 48 hours now that YouTube says streaming will be available in 24 hours, but it's still not. So maybe if you have an idea on how this happened, share it in the comments, because I'm completely at a loss. And I will see you in a few hours. All right? Take care, guys. Happy trading and stay safe, of course. Bye-bye.